This is the world's fittest luxury hotel, or so they claim. The ultra-premium fitness brand Equinox created the Equinox Hotel behind me. It is a world's 50 best hotel according to 50 Best, and they say that every guest leaves here feeling happier and healthier. I did a full review out of 50 points in 5 categories. The categories are the ambiance, the room, the dining, the service, and the it factor. This is Equinox's truly immersive lifestyle hotel, and there's some interesting science and technology behind it. Let's start by showing you around. So I don't normally do this, but let's start the ambiance section with the spa. So this is one of the most modern and technologically advanced spas that I have ever seen. In fact, they have something they call the X circuit, which is 5 different treatments that all have to do with beauty, inner performance, inner body, temperature, and sleep. They use celebrity esthetician product lines. They've brought in some huge collaborations, but is it all overpriced hype and trend, or do they actually do what they say they're gonna do? Well, that's what I tested here today. So I did a deep dive on the menu and found the most interesting thing I could find, which is the Quantum Harmonics table. So apparently this table for only 30 minutes equates to 3 hours of sleep a night. And what you'll find later in the room and in other sections of this review is that sleep is very important here at the Equinox Hotel. So let's go test that. So that was the Quantum Harmonics session at the Equinox Spa, and honestly, it was my first negative experience with this hotel. The menu for this spa is incredible, but almost too good to be true, and unfortunately for me, it definitely was. That was just a waterbed with a heated blanket, a very tight eye mask, and very loud headphones. I can't see how anyone would want to stay in there for more than an hour, which are some of the packages they offer. And with tax and tip, it came up to about $100 for that 30-minute session just to lay on a waterbed. So you make your own decisions when you come and stay here, and I'm sure some of their treatments are excellent, but the one that I just tried makes me feel like maybe not. Up next in the ambiance section, we have the indoor and the outdoor pool here. So outside, there's a hot sauna for contrast therapy in the winter. Inside, there's a lap pool and a cold plunge right next to me here. So attached to the hotel is the world's largest Equinox at 60,000 square feet. It is open for guests of the hotel to use after hours and has every amenity you could possibly need here in the gym. All right, so let's give the ambiance a score. That spa was okay. Honestly, for the price you're paying and how expensive some of the things were, it definitely could have been better, and I've absolutely seen better spas. However, this 60,000 square foot gym is incredible. The modern and minimalistic, simple and clean design of the entire hotel. The hallways and the public spaces are all clean and well curated. But it isn't the best that I've seen at a hotel by far. It is very cool they have this outdoor pool that has Equinox's logo in there. You've got an indoor pool, plunge pool, you've got saunas, everything you can need for a truly immersive wellness experience. I gave the ambiance a 7 out of 10. So the hotel is from floors 20 to 40 of this building here in Hudson Yards, New York City. There are 212 rooms, including 48 suites that go anywhere between $1,100 a night and $12,000 a night as of this recording. For all of that, you still only get this simple room card, not custom at all. Let's see if the room makes up for it. Welcome to Equinox's Temple of Regeneration. So this room, even for New York City at this price point, is pretty small. It's 400 square feet, but what Equinox says is the best and most important part of this room is right here. The sleep at Equinox is very important to the culture of this hotel, and this bed, although it doesn't look like much, apparently is incredible. They have a whole ritual that you're supposed to do before you go to sleep with tea and setting the temperature and blackout shades and breath work, so we're gonna do all of that later. And I'm gonna test this bed and wake up in the morning and let you know how it really is. Over here in the minibar, there is the most interesting, eclectic, and strange mix of things for purchase that I have ever seen in a hotel. You truly have everything from creatine to magnesium, liver complex, things I've never even heard of. You can also purchase the clothing that you need to go work out in the gym. It's a collaboration with Roan, and they have foam roller, yoga mat, yoga block. So just in case the massive gym downstairs isn't enough, you can work out right here in your small room. Over here, they have my favorite supplement, which is coffee. So there's an espresso machine in the room and some unique different alcohols that are supposed to be a little bit more healthy for you, and another drawer of healthy snacks. And the final drawer in this cabinet of curiosities has some really strange things. From a longevity box, so 19 different things in here to help you live longer, the Quinton Hypertonic. So this is standard in every room. I'm not sure of the price point on this. So apparently it is seawater minerals to support cell renewal and contributes to normal muscle and digestive functions. Bottoms up. Tastes very strange. You're gonna have to check back at the end of this video to see how I'm doing with all of these things. Let's go take a look at the bathroom. So the bathroom is pretty small like the rest of the room, but it is modern and quite advanced. In fact, the best part about this bathroom is this switch right here, which sends an electric current through the glass on the other side of the shower. That electric current makes the glass opaque and makes it a private shower experience. You can turn it on and off. That's definitely not a cheap feature. Let's test the shower. So even for such a small room, the shower is very spacious, and we need to give it a full shower test, which is 3 criteria points. That's the ease of use, the size, and the pressure. You can already see there are 2 shower heads here, which is a very nice touch for a room like this. You've also got a spray nozzle and some high-end amenities in the shower. There's a little seating area here. Let's test the pressure. The pressure is decent from the top shower head. The side shower head is a much stronger pressure, but you can't have them both on at the same time. So once again, not really sure how to turn this off. So ease of use, not the best. So now I want to go back into the room and get ready for that sleep experience that I keep hearing so much about. So these are some very nice, high quality robes. I gotta try it. So before I do that night ritual here, I'm going to call the front desk and order some room service breakfast for a certain time tomorrow morning. In the service segment a little bit later, we'll look at if they're on time, if the food is hot and fresh, but right now we want to put the order in before we go to sleep.
In-room dining, how can I assist you?
Hi there, could I order for breakfast tomorrow morning to be delivered, please?
Absolutely, Mr. Walker. And what time would you like it?
Could I have it for 7 a.m., please?
Definitely. And what would you like to order?
Let's do a Eggs Benedict and a black coffee.
Anything else we can bring you?
No, that'll be perfect. Thank you so much. All right, so like I was saying, they have a PM ritual that they set out before you go to sleep, which includes setting the temperature in the room to 66 degrees, doing 6 deep breaths, having a moment of gratitude, and having some special tea before you go to bed. So maybe it is all in my head, but I am feeling pretty calm. Time for that bed test. All right, good morning. So to be honest about this sleep last night, if I were to do that nighttime ritual before sleeping anywhere, including at home, I think I would have had a better night's sleep. The bed itself is pretty firm, not very giving, and kind of feels like it's not the most quality mattress, which is really, really surprising. Now maybe at the higher tiers, the beds are a little bit nicer, but if sleep is something they're pushing so hard here at the Equinox Hotel, they should have a gold standard for every one of the mattresses in every room. No pillow top to the mattress, there's no memory foam even, or anything that can kind of give you that plush feeling. So overall, I was cold last night for sure, given the room was 66 degrees, but I do feel rested, so there's something to be said about that sleep time ritual. Time to give the room an official score out of 10. So there are a lot of things in this room that are unique that I've never seen before, from that incredible mini bar assortment and options that you have available. The lighting in here is pretty great, and the offerings that they give you, from the amenities that are complimentary to the amenities in the bathroom, are also above standard. However, that sleep was not as great as what everyone kept saying it was going to be. Some of the things in the room honestly felt a little bit gimmicky. Having stayed at a lot of luxury resorts and reviewed them on this channel, sometimes simple is better. And here it just feels like there were a lot of frills and extra things that aren't really necessary. Almost like they're trying to upsell you and upcharge for every little thing that could be a new fad in the health or the fitness industry, and I just didn't really love that. If you look closely, some of the materials in the room aren't actually that great. You know, it's almost like they just kind of placed this room to be an upsell for you, and no one ever really loves to feel that. On the plus side, the bathroom is really well done. Very modern, high tech, with that cool opaque window that they have. There's a very nice lighting setup for checking out your outfit before you leave the room. It's very small, and for the price, I'm not sure it feels like it's really up to par with other hotels here in New York City. I gave this room a 6.5 out of 10. So online it says that you can rent workout gear complimentary from the iPad next to your bed and use it downstairs. Also, if you're an Equinox member, you get complimentary cleaning of one garment. But if you go into the iPad and you take a look at exclusive guest offer, for example, it looks like some of those items have been deleted. However, you can still use this iPad to order room service and some of the other things that you'd find at other modern hotels. Speaking of room service, I'm very curious how Equinox handled healthy, sustainable dining options here. Let's take a look. So for the dining segment, the only restaurant here is called Electric Lemon, which honestly sounds more like an EDM festival than a restaurant. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the menu changes only slightly for all three. So the dinner menu at Electric Lemon, at first glance, looks very healthy. Definitely popular here. Number one most popular thing on the menu is the butterflied branzino here. It has capers on top. It is a full fish without the head, so you have the tail on the end as well. Very crispy. All right, so the first bite, incredibly well cooked. So tender, great flavor. It doesn't have that fishy taste that branzino sometimes does. The caper sauce here, very interesting. Okay, I'm a couple of bites in now, and I did tell the server that I'm allergic to beans. And inside of the fish here, there are some beans in there. So, you know, just something that was missed, so I'm gonna have to have it taken back. We'll talk about the service a little later. Now for the burger, this is the second most popular thing on the menu. Our waitress told us this is very, very good. So inside here, they have a horseradish on top. It's almost an aioli they put on it. It's cooked perfectly, some pickles on the side, thin cut fries. That's a great dish. And the final course here at Electric Lemon, the chocolate cake. Look at this. Very rich, very heavy chocolate. So for the chocolate lovers out there, definitely order this if you're able to get to New York City. Overall, the food at the Electric Lemon has been very, very good. I've been impressed. So that was the restaurant at the Equinox Hotel. And honestly, my biggest critique is there just isn't a lot of diversity in what you can order. I've reviewed other hotels where there are multiple restaurants, specialty coffee shops, and really unique offerings, and nothing here really felt exceptional. The dishes were good, don't get me wrong, but none of them were the best I've ever had, and some of these hotels I've reviewed, they definitely are best in class. That's why I gave the dining a 6.5 out of 10. Now, let's talk about the service, which is a very important part of any luxury hotel stay. It's now 7:05 a.m. We ordered the Eggs Benedict and the coffee last night. They arrived basically on time. The coffee is fresh and hot. The Eggs Benedict looks like it was made only moments ago, so they definitely passed this segment of the service. We won't know the official service score until we give it that service test. So the service test is the part of the review where I call the front desk and ask for something that they're not quite used to hearing but is still doable for the hotel. In past reviews, I've asked for flower arrangements in the room, or to set up s'mores on the beach, or even fill the bathtub with ice. Here at the Equinox Hotel, I really want to test that Equinox hospitality. Let's call the front desk.
Thank you for calling the front desk. Equinox, how may I help you?
Hi there. Would it be possible to have someone bring 10 of the Eucalyptus face towels from the gym up to the room by chance?
I can ask, but I think because we don't have tickets to put in for them because they're technically a separate entity, I can check with my manager real fast. Yes, we can have those sent up. You said 10?
Yes, please.
All right, we'll have those sent up momentarily.
Means a lot. Thank you so much. Okay, let's walk around the hotel and wait until they bring those towels up. Okay, we have our towels. So, they did in fact bring some small towels to the room, but they're not the classic eucalyptus towels from the Equinox gym. So they're standard towels and there's definitely not 10 of them. If they were to just say, hey, they're unable to do it, I think that that would be one thing. But to say, yes, they can, and then to bring the incorrect amount and the incorrect type of towel is just kind of an indication of how I've been feeling about the service so far. Anyway, that is all of the service in the room. Let's go talk about the service in the dining and at the front desk. So overall, the service here was not the best that I've reviewed on this channel. The booking process was a little bit clunky and difficult. I was able to find a better rate myself. They weren't able to apply my membership percentage discount, and some of the other things just felt a little like maybe they didn't care. So when I checked in, the hotel was completely booked, which means that generally they are busy. The checkout process was smooth and easy, but in the restaurant, as you saw, they did serve something I was allergic to, even after I mentioned that I was allergic, and the beans were hidden in the dish, so it made it extra dangerous. Also, the dishes were just a little bit slow, and overall, I wasn't very impressed. The service in the spa was equally so. The information I was given about the spa treatment was iffy at best, and the service throughout the rest of the hotel has really been non-existent. We haven't run into many staff, and not many times have they come up to ask if we need anything. In fact, they're more likely to actually tell us to leave a space because there's a private event. Overall, the service at the Equinox Hotel is a 6 out of 10. Now it's time to talk about the it factor score. The it factor is that unique thing about a hotel that you can't really put your finger on. It's the reason why you want to come back, tell your friends about it. It's what makes the hotel different. And for the Equinox Hotel, it really is the fact that it's that provocative and edgy, interesting, wellness and gym focused hotel. In fact, when I came here, I felt like every aspect of the hotel was just different than anything I've ever tried before. Whether it's good or bad, it's worth a stay for that reason. As a guest staying here, you get complimentary access to the vessel behind me in Hudson Yard in New York. If you're an Equinox member, you're supposed to get special rates in the hotel and complimentary garment cleaning. And of course, you have access to that massive Equinox gym, the biggest in the United States. I gave the it factor here an 8 out of 10. So now it is unfortunately time to check out of the Equinox Hotel and give it a final score out of 50. If you add everything together from this review, I gave the Equinox Hotel in New York City a 34 out of 50. Thank you for watching. I'm Ryan Walker, and we'll see you on the next one.